Good morning, afternoon, and evening, whenever it is and wherever you are. I hope you're having an amazing day. And if you're not, well, I hope it gets better and that you can dream away here at Koku Island. I'm actually going to start calling it Koku Island verse because I realize that this is kind of like a world I want to create. So I might as well attach the verse to it. So I'm the butler. I take care of the Koku Island verse. I created Kit and Dino, and I'm the creator of all these stories. And today, we're actually going to be exploring Koku Island. It's our first wild animal or monster exploration. As you can see here, like I'm going to be putting it up. Same as always, it's going to be some like graphics next to you, and you can kind of either listen along or you can watch what's, going on over there. And same thing as before, I'm not really gonna, edit out much. So whatever is said is gonna kind of stay. That being said, I was supposed to post last week, but I completely miscalculated some stuff for conventions and preparing for conventions. So I ended up having to prioritize that first. And then I was going to post on Saturday, but I didn't have time. So I'm going to be, posting on the Wednesday, which is today. I'm actually recording this today and then releasing it at 6 p.m. So that is literally how procrastinating this is. But yeah, so the first monster is going to be called the Sprull. Kit and Dino decided to name it Sprull, and you'll see why, or you can kind of see why it's called a Sprull right now. It says sprout and bowl put together, so it's called a Sprull. I decided to add this creature to the Koku Island verse because I wanted Kit and Dino to find their own food. Like, I didn't want food to just like appear. I wanted it to have like what's the word I'm looking for? Like, I wanted them to be able to find food on their own so you can kind of understand their lifestyle, like their slice of life and stuff like that. So Kit is a cat. She is an obligated carnivore, so meaning she needs to eat meat. And Dino is a marine iguana, strictly vegetarian. Scientifically and on technicality, marine iguanas only eat green algae. Not the purple algae, just specifically green algae that's on the shores of the Galapagos Islands. Yeah, that's all they eat. But in the Koku Island verse, Dino will eat different types of vegetation. And so we wanted to explore a little bit more about that. So let's go over the Sprull together for the very, very first time. I've not actually said anything about this animal or creature until like now. Like, some people have known about it, but this is our first official release. This is not a new character. This is just something that you can add into your monster index or creature index for Koku Island. So as you can see, here are the characteristics of just the head of the Sprull. There's a little sprout that you can see on the top of his head. It doesn't have any like fur or anything like that. Well, okay, it has like really short fur. So if you like were to shampoo and dry it, it would become kind of fluffy, but not like a Highland cow, just like a regular schmegular rain cow or dairy cow. But it does have a sprout on its head, and it's just like it doesn't grow. They're born with it. Well, I guess when they're first born, it's like a tiny little thing, and then it sprouts and grows into like a bigger leaf. It's kind of like an antler, but they also have horns, as you can see. The horns are used to attack people, not people, but other creatures. And you'll see that the eyes are very, like, they have the angry emote on it because they're very aggressive. These Sprulls are very, very aggressive. And you can see here that this is the full look of the Sprull. It's actually, okay, so I was trying to decide on the height of the Sprull, and I decided that from the hoof to the top of his head, it's probably going to be about 150 centimeters. I don't know what that is in inches, but I think it's about like 5'5". Maybe I could be completely no, not 5'5", like 5'6", 7. Like I don't know. I'm not sure. Not. But it's 170 centimeters. That's all I know. The build of the Sprull is stocky, so they're really rotund, very muscular, but round, very round. Yes. And you can see on the bottom left that they have a footprint. Now, I'm gonna give little bits of clues of what's coming soon. It's a new product that we I mean, yeah, it could be called a product, but a new thing that I wanted to introduce to Koku Island that people can buy from me. I'm not gonna make it, or I'm gonna try my like really dang hardest to not make it expensive, because I just want people to, get their hands on this product and actually be able to enjoy it. So the footprint is a clue. Actually, no, all of everything that I'm saying today is a clue of what's to come. And next week is when I'm going to be talking more about it. Hopefully next week. Lol. And so the last thing that is on the Sprull that you'll notice is a green patch. That green patch is just to indicate that this clay colored cow, if you cannot see the sprout from afar, you can see like a green patch on its back. So that's what a Sprull looks like. It's got a sprout on his head. It's got 2 horns, very aggressive eyes. It's pretty big and rotund. If you were to follow, like if Kit and Dino were to, hunt for this, I know Dino doesn't eat meat, but there's a reason why Dino would want to look for these Sprulls as well. They would have to follow the footprints of these Sprulls. So the next thing that I wanted to go over was their known behaviors. So we've done some studies, and it seems that Sprulls are extremely aggressive. If we're talking about a scale of aggression, Dino is kind of like on the bottom of the totem pole. And then just like a few levels above that is Kit, because she's quite aggressive, I would say. And then I would say, like, if you were to max this out, it would be like a dragon's level of like aggression. And a Sprull is like an 8 out of 10. 10 out of 10 being a dragon. So they're very aggressive. They also resource guard. So what that is, some of you pet owners, dog owners, cat owners, or any other animal behaviorists and stuff like that, resource guarding is basically what the term says. They protect what they believe is theirs. Sometimes it could be food, sometimes it could be toys, but in this case, it's food for the Sprull. It is a herding animal, and there's like a lot of them, usually. I would say between 7 to 8 Sprulls, males and females, like will be hanging out in a group. They're all aggressive. And because they got little legs, they can't really like do like the donkey kick or whatever. They kind of just hit you with their head with the antlers and stuff. So they're kind of like bisons. They'll circle around the young if there is some threat around to protect themselves and the youngs, and then they'll hit you with their heads. So very aggressive. They resource guard, and they're herding animals. So you can imagine how hard it is for Kit to hunt these, because they're so big and she's so small. Smooge. There are some unknown things that we're not sure about the Sprull. We have noticed, or Kit and Dino have done some research, and they did notice that there seems to be a lot, like an abundance of wild crops that grow where you can always find the herd. So Kit and Dino think that it has something to do with the sprout on its head. Maybe they have an affinity to looking for wild crops. They're unsure because, they've never seen it in real time of like where the herd goes. They just, show up and go like, oh, wow, there's a lot of wild crops. So it's like the crops tend to grow faster around them. And, it's a little odd, but Kit and Dino have been trying to study the Sprull and following the Sprull. It's not always for hunting, it's just for studying as well. And Kit and Dino usually find them in the plains biome, either close to the forest tree line or close to a water source, because all animals need water. So you can either find them definitely in the plains biome though, because that's where they can find most of the root vegetables and stuff like that. So Kit and Dino have found carrots, they found radishes and tomatoes and lettuce and stuff like that. That is where Dino comes in, because Dino eats vegetables and stuff like that. So he needs to go get the vegetables so he can have some food as well. Kit, on the other hand, will hunt for the Sprulls. It's very difficult because they're huge and she's small. But if she's successful, then she can use the bones for soup and the meat for the tarn and nutritions and stuff like that. If it's a successful hunt, Kit will gain 1 attack experience, so hunting experience, so she can continue to become more successful. An unsuccessful one would be for obvious reason, obvious answer would be if she didn't succeed in the hunt and she got really hurt or something like that. Dino also gets experience out of this. He will gain an agriculture or farming experience. It is 1 point. And the successful harvest would be if he managed to, how I said that the Sprull is resource guarding? If he manages to take some wild crops while the Sprull is around, because the Sprull will eat all of it and then find more. But we don't know how it finds more, but there's always more. So maybe they're growing it. We don't know. But if Dino successfully gets some while, some of the vegetables and stuff, while Kit is distracting them by hunting them, then he gets 1 agricultural point. So that being said, these Sprulls obviously are high value. If you were to hint, give Kit a piece of Sprull or a Sprull broth or whatever, you'll also gain 1 heart from her, for relationships where you can be her one of her besties. For Dino, he likes wild crops. Wild crops tend to taste better than farm crops, just because there's the nature of things. Speaking of, side note, I'm just gonna go off on a tangent here. My partner and I are actually starting a new hobby, gardening. We full on gardening. I have cherry trees now. I have a plum tree. I have a pear tree. I have raised garden beds. We're gonna be building a greenhouse and stuff like that. So we're gonna be talking about that as well here at Koku Island. I'm just gonna pretend I'm Dino, and actually no, Dino's helping me with gardening. So that's where we're at. And this is the Sprull. It's not a super long episode or anything like that, but this is our first exploration of a Koku Island monster or creature or animal. And I really hope you had a good time listening to me talk about the studies of the Sprull, what Kit and Dino have told me and what we've learned. There are still a lot of mysteries, like how the crops grow, and if it's, something to do with the sprout on the head of the Sprull. We don't know. I guess we'll find out eventually. Kit and Dino will probably log it down somewhere and I'll read it and I'll let you guys know if they find anything. I'm not going to go hunting for a Sprull because I'll probably pebish and that's not fun. So yeah, once again, I am the butler of the Koku Island verse. I take care of things here on the island. I help you guys communicate with Kit and Dino, and I tell Kit and Dino what you guys have said, and they communicate to you guys through me. If you enjoyed this episode, I hope you hit the like button and subscribe. Do the YouTube things, and I will see you, hopefully, next Wednesday. Bye!